Yes, we're with you till 7 a.m. with your wake-up call, and I want to wake you up by putting that warmth we've been talking about for so long in perspective. And Thompson Hill, temps near and below freezing, you're driving into an icy situation. And if we break this down by 6-hour intervals, notice it's going to start off as just light accumulation by 6 p.m. tomorrow. Accumulation of 3 inches possible for Ironwood, for Ashland, for these localized areas of the South Shore. We have people who get a little frustrated with us. They say, just tell me how cold it is. I don't care about the wind chill, but we do care about the wind chill, and I want to break down why. Might have some ice to contend with on the wind chill before you hit the road, and then there's the ice on the roads. All the while, visibility has been an issue this morning as well. I know you've probably seen a lot of different numbers floating around out there, so I want to show you what different models are showing me as of right now. Today is all about supporting those who are facing food insecurity. Now, you said it, it's a nice start to the day temperature-wise. Looking in south central Minnesota, no severe threats here, but we do have some bouts of heavy rainfall.
We're watching Storm Track Weather with AMS-certified meteorologist Brandon Weatherz.
Here's how we're starting off our Wednesday at Lincoln Elementary in Hibbing. Nothing on the pavement, cloudy skies, and a temperature of 23. For reference, Hibbing's average high today is 3 degrees below that at 20. To put that warmth in perspective, current temperature in Duluth is 27 degrees. It's not too often that we get to brag about having a milder December morning than they have in Cincinnati, Nashville, and even Charlotte. If we look at temperatures compared to average across the region, we're going to continue to see the unseasonable warmth that reaches from the Mississippi River Valley and west of there move from west to east, so that it'll be peaking for us in our region as we head into the weekend. In fact, Sunday and Monday, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, will be approaching daily record highs. We have greater chance of daily record warm low temperatures that'll be staying above freezing. All the while, the warmer air above us is going to keep some grayer conditions trapped near the surface, some cloudy skies, some periods of misty, foggy conditions, and a little bit of drizzly action. This morning, if you look at the radar, we do see some light snow trying to be reflected over areas of Itasca County into Koochiching and reaching north and west of there. I am not thinking much of this is even making it to the ground this morning, running into some drier air that causes it to evaporate. What we have at play right now is high pressure to the north, and we're on the backside of a cold front to our south. With the high, we do have this breezy east wind just starting to develop. We have this in Duluth right now at 12 miles per hour. So when it comes to precipitation today, I'm not really focused on any flurry action from what we're trying to see on the radar, but instead it is along the north shore that we might see just a little bit of light precipitation today, not because of lake effect. It's not cold enough over the lake, but we will get this terrain enhancement because the air is going to be coming off the lake up into the higher terrain. As it rises, it will enhance that saturation near the surface, just enough to possibly get some light snow, but more than anything, I think a drizzle or freezing drizzle would be the concern. Not going to be anything accumulating, but something worth noting along the North Shore today, tonight, and into early tomorrow morning in those areas. Then it's Thursday night into Friday that we have a more widespread chance for some drizzly action, maybe some freezing drizzle. This scenario isn't showing much of that actual precipitation. What I'm more concerned about is the potential for some foggy, misty conditions and visibility concerns heading into Friday. Tracking that fog starting at noon tomorrow shouldn't be much of an issue, but then by tomorrow night into Friday morning, visibility may be down to under a mile in many areas. Dense fog is something to have in the back of the mind as a possibility for those hitting the road Friday in the morning. Maybe some improvement in the middle of the day, but I think we'll be back in a foggy situation for your Friday evening lingering into Saturday morning. Bring it back to today. Because of the cold front that swept us overnight, it is a touch cooler for some northern areas, not quite reaching the 30-degree mark. Still seeing temperature rise as you look south with low and mid 30s in the Twin Ports, 36 Moose Lake, 36 Mellon. Tonight staying in the 20s across the region, in part with thicker cloud cover sticking around and east wind still holding on to a bit of strength. By tomorrow, 42 Ashland, 40 Hayward, 37 Superior, 35 for Duluth, and even the cooler areas of northern Minnesota staying above freezing at 35. So the warmth It's not just about the highs, which will be pushing towards some 40s by the weekend, but also your low temperatures. Having an overnight period staying in the mid-30s, that is certainly above average this time of year, approaching records, and it's also going to keep everything as rain Sunday into Monday. Right now, I'm not too concerned about snow mixing in for some northern areas. If it does happen, I think it'll melt on the surface. If we do see some lingering snow possibly in the region Tuesday, but that Christmas system is something we'll be keeping an eye on now. Lake Superior has the largest surface area of any freshwater lake in the world. Because of its immense size, it takes a long time for the temperature to respond to the changing seasons. The lake's average surface temperature only rises about 30 degrees over the course of 6 months. However, swimmers along the shoreline can be chilled by dramatic temperature changes when the conditions are right. The reason for this is something called upwelling, and it's pretty simple in theory. The temperature of the lake is typically the highest at the surface, and it falls the deeper you go. Deep water stays close to 40 degrees even in the late summer. When winds push the surface water away from the shoreline, water from the depths rises up to replace it. So instead of swimming in comfortable waters that have benefited from months of warming, all of a sudden you're swimming in waters that are hardly above freezing. UMD has buoys near McQuaid Harbor that can be used to track this. Last Thursday, the water temp fell from 58 in the morning to 44 at 6 p.m. It then rose rapidly up into the 60s. Back in early September 2020, the temp near shore fell 20 degrees in just 9 hours. All the while, the buoy further out held steady in the 60s. The wind required for upwelling isn't perpendicular to the shoreline as you might think. Due to something known as Ekman transport, net water transport is 90 degrees to the right of the wind direction, and the surface current is pushed 45 degrees to the right of the wind. So a southwest wind parallel to the north shore is the most effective for displacing warmer surface water. Upwelling can make a big difference for swimmers, especially along the north shore. We expect the big lake to be cold, but with upwelling, you could be swimming in waters from the icy depths.